After Lockup. Did you see it last night? Actually, no, I need to correct myself. Life After Lockup, because we have a totally different show. I mean, it's the same thing, right? So let's start off with Lindsay and Blaine. So we see these clowns back again, right? Lindsay is up here with Blaine. They've been together for 8 months. They decided to buy a house together. I'm like, how does that work? Is her name on the paperwork? Like, are we looking at a lease here? What's going on? And now they need to go see his attorney to find out about his charges. So apparently he has two open indictments. Is that how you say it? I have no legal expertise in this area. And, he's like, all right. So basically the lawyer's like, you're going to have to pay me 15 grand, something like that. And you're going to be in for a possibility because you just keep offending. You're going to be in for up to 19 years in prison. I said, oh my God, 19 years? Was it that serious what he did? Apparently it was. So Lindsay's all upset because she was like, yeah, I knew he was in a little bit of trouble, but I didn't know it was that bad. So she's, having a fit or whatever. And, she's like sitting here, she is breaking it down. She's like, it means that if you get this and then you will reoffend and listen, she broke it down like so well. I thought to myself, as a person who does not know the legal system in that way, honey, she's got a little future in paralegal. That could be a legit job for her. She knows the system in and out. My God. So, all right, now we're going to go back to our favorite, okay, my favorite, Monique and Derek. So okay, before I get started, oh no, shoot. All right, sorry about that. So we're back. But anyway, let me go ahead and just throw it out there right now. I'm CT. This is the NYC Indian. We're going to be reviewing Life After Lockup. This is season 4, episode 41. We have a lot of the people from the past season. This is going to be brought to you from an urban Native American mixed perspective, a secular perspective. And, let's go ahead and get into it. So now we're back with Monique and Derek. Oh, and before I get started, let me just go ahead and say this now. Because let me list the couples that are on today's show or last night's show. We have, I don't know why this little curl is bothering me back here. But let me fix that. All right. We got to be kempt around here. I'm so silly. Anyway, so and there it goes for me being silly. So anyway, we have Lindsay and Blaine, we have Monique and Derek, we have Justine and Michael, we have Sean and Sarah, we have Taylor and Chance, and I think that's it. So and Puppy and Amber. So I'm not going to be going so deeply into Puppy and Amber or Lindsay and Blaine or Taylor and Chance, because we've seen that this is like the third season with some of these couples, and listen, my attention span, it's decent, all right, it's not as bad as like some of whatever, but listen, I'm just a little tired with them. And then to see the preview coming up that they're going to bring back freaking Marcelino and Brittany again. No, I can't. So I'm going to be highlighting just whoever I, feel like is, giving us a lot of good TV, which is, we know is going to be Michael and Justine. Though I know some people are bored with them because they feel like, oh, it's too, happy love story or something. But I think there's still more to dive deep into with these two. And Monique and Derek, hello. Those two are just TV gold. They're giving. So we're going to be talking about them. And I may dip in and out with Sean and Sarah a little bit, but they're kind of boring, I don't know. So let's go to Monique and Derek. So he's shopping with his sisters, and he has, of course, they're talking trash about her as usual. They cannot stand the ground that she walks on. And he's trying to buy her some candles and stuff like that. And he gets Monique on the phone, and, they're, over speaker, and, even just her saying, hey, they thought that she was saying them hoes or something. It was just ridiculous. I was like, I really do believe that, he's like trying to reel her back in, right? Because last week we saw that they had, I can't even say broken up. Okay, I won't even use that term. She went back to Chicago, so he basically can finish all his philandering that he's going to do locally there in the Ohio area. and get out of his hair and still be able to either fund his lifestyle or whatever the hell she does with their long distance situation. So she's now she's shopping with or sorry, so she's driving with her sisters in the car, and she's telling them about how she has to track his movements and things like that. Oh, good morning, Susan, how are you? Oh, you watching this craziness too, right? We just can't get enough of this show. Thank you for tuning in. So her sisters are like, she's telling them about how she tracks him, and her sisters are like, that's a little bit too much. And it was like, finally we get to hear someone say to her, like, why would you even be with someone if the level of mistrust is just so high? Like, why even bother, right? Why just spend your energy and stuff? And they know, as her sisters, they love her. They know that she deserves more than that. So but they didn't harp on it too long. They could have went a little bit deeper into that. But anyway, I just, the outfit though, some of the outfits, I was just like, I guess that runs in the family. Cause I'm like looking, when they're out of the car, and I'm, well, not really. Actually, Monique, well, in this scene, I don't know. I can't even say. It wasn't as bad as what we've seen before. But one of those outfits, I was like, don't you know you're gonna be on top? Anyway, so Justine and Michael. So the whole family, they go to jiu-jitsu lessons, and apparently little Santana, poor little thing, he's been, bullied and stuff at school. He's, probably it's, he's gonna grow into his looks and stuff like that. But kids, if you're even a little chubby or something like that, kids can be very cruel, and he's never had a dad. I guess that's been in his life in any kind of functional way, and it's really affecting him. So she wants him to get some self what do you call it, like self-defense, which is understandable. And I like the fact that Michael, we can say what we want to say about this couple, because god damn, they are dysfunctional. But I have to say that I do think that's a good thing, that he was kind of, he is stepping in, and he's taking on that role, and he's understanding. He's like, hey, listen, I got beat up before too, and that was a little different situation. I said that sound. He said he got jumped. Now I'm assuming that was when he was in prison, but he's like, listen, you just gotta like, you gotta mess them up one time, and after that, then they won't mess with you anymore. And there is some truth to that. There is truth to that, right? But anyway, I just appreciate, that he's even giving him a little bit of that fatherly whatever. And all of her kids are there. They're all together. Even her mom was there, right? Wasn't her mom in that scene? And I just, he did say, like, I want my kids. And when he said my kids, he was including Justine's kids with that. And I think that's a good thing, right? So then they start to talk a little bit later about, her fear. She's talking with her mom. You know, uh, she has a fear of, now that he's actually home, and he's really here, he's in the flesh. She's waited all these years for him to come home. How is she going to be able to really handle him being around her children? And the fear is because he's not their biological parent, and you don't want to see, like, him treating his kids differently than how he would treat her children. And it's like, okay, ding dong, okay, the doorbell has finally rang. And I don't know what it is with Justine. I don't know if it's just because she had her child early. And listen, everybody's got something that they did when they are younger. It just depends. That's that we, if we would have, I don't want to say a mistake, but let's say if time had permitted, you would have made that choice later on in your life, right? And a lot of people have kids, when they're teenagers, and some of them manage to still go on. If they have a good support system, then they still manage to go on and be able to finish school and stuff like that. But that's not everybody's situation. And in Justine's case, she had, a child, and then, then she had another child, and that didn't work out, and another child. So it's like, and her deep faithfulness to Michael, it's unreal. Remember last season when we first met them, or was it the season before that? No, because this is actually season 3 for them. I said that before about some of the other couples, but 3 seasons and I'm bored, but I'm not bored with them yet, right? So I'm going to talk about them. So when we first met her, and it was just like, we didn't get to meet Michael in person yet, and then it was just like them, video chats and stuff with the family. You remember the whole her saving his band-aids, and like he would send band-aids in the mail, and like toenail clippings. Oh my God. Like, what goes through a person's mind? So, having children younger, and, being a single parent, and, she described later on that she's been through abusive situations. It all makes sense. It totally makes sense now. Is it, I think, I talk about arrested development a lot when we're talking about people coming out of prison, especially when they went in at such a young age or whatever, right? I mean, it's kind of like, you can get kind of stuck at that age. I had a family member who, was like that as well, and, wound up going to jail and came out like still the same, just immature person that they always were their whole lives. And, it is something that happens, but I think that, arrested development, we're seeing that with Justine too, because it's like she knows how to hold it down, and like, take care of her kids, though her mom is definitely financial support in that as well. She works and takes care of her family, but so that's where the 35-year-old part is there. But there seems to be like a 17-year-old part of her. I don't know if it's because she was pretty and she wasn't told no, and maybe she was always like, approached by boys. I don't know what it was, but like, when she's always got that little smirk on her face and stuff like that, I'm like, what's going on up here? I'm not really understanding the whole situation. So anyway, yeah, so she's very insecure about him being around her kids, or how he would treat them anyway. So now we catch up with Sean and Sarah. They have a beautiful little baby. Oh my God, this beautiful little baby, so cute. Now the baby really looks a lot like Sean. Now I'm still trying to figure out, and I know this doesn't even matter, but especially in Sean's case, because he got like 2 light bulbs upstairs basically. But I am wondering, what is Sean's ethnicity? Like, have we figured that out yet? I mean, because like the baby really looks, I mean, the baby looks like like a little, like, I mean, she's white, right? And we don't know what Sean is. And the baby really it seems like the baby took from like Sean's parents or something like that. So if anybody knows, I'm just curious. I'm a person of color. I am very interested in people's ethnic backgrounds. So anyway, she's ready, for some little, loving time with Sean. And, she's got a whole little dungeon situation set up in her room that her mother put together. My God, but whatever. I guess you do what you got to do. And he's too busy, right? Because he's playing some video games, and I guess as he says, he's playing with his kids, so I guess they're doing like online or whatever. And he's like, I'm spending quality time with my kids and stuff like that. Now, one thing about Sean, I mean, he didn't marry the mom, who he had all his children by, all 6 of his kids by, but it seemed like it's to some degree he was in his kid's life, right? So I guess it's a struggle now because he's living in a different state, and he's having to figure out how to do the parenting now that he's a husband. And he doesn't seem like he's really into this whole husband role, because even though he was in a family situation, he wasn't tied down legally. Now he is. He's got a brand new baby. He's got to start all over again. So I mean, he's not a spring chicken. So we catch up with Taylor and Chance. I'm just doing the catch-ups for some of these couples that I'm not going to be really going into too deeply with later on in the season. So he's sinking in bills and all these credit cards or whatever. And she's due in a few weeks. They haven't gotten married yet. And she's over here assembling a crib by herself. You tell me why is she down there squatting on the ground? Do you realize, like, come on now, what if this woman goes into labor? Like, she's supposed to be feet up and like relaxed. You don't want her to go into labor. It's just ridiculous. I don't really understand why she stays with Chance. And I hope they clean that house, because it was looking nasty. nasty a couple of seasons ago. I remember he was like, even Chance coming out of prison was like, these cushions, I mean, they're kind of damp smelling. You want to change these? I was like, oof. But it looks like her sister moved out too, right? So he's so busy checking his bills. He's in the bathroom checking the bills. And then he goes back in and finally agrees to help her with the crib. God forbid, right? And then he's ignoring a call. Now, somebody's trying to call him. I don't know what's going on with Chance, but he's acting like, oh, just, oh, whatever, he's whatever. So he's just being his usual self. I don't expect a lot out of Chance. So Justine and Michael, we see them in the next scene. And listen, why are they clad in work release outfits? Okay. I mean, I don't even understand that. What'd you say, Susan? How does she not know he has all? Listen, I don't know, because isn't that her house? And from the understanding that I had, I thought that she owned that house. So if she was the owner of that house, then yeah, how do you not know what bills you got going on? Like, are you just like letting him move in and be like, okay, you can completely take over? I don't think so. Not when you already have two babies, right? But yeah, so Justine and Michael, they're in their, the matching work release outfits. Are you guys like picking up trash on the highway, or what is going on? Now, look, I understand you guys have an image to maintain or whatever, but some of these outfits, I mean, I'm not saying, it's extremely expensive, but, it can get a little bit pricey. And I would assume with, the eighth child on the way that we would have to kind of, conserve our dollar, put on some regular clothes like, Lindsay and Blaine and the rest of them. And speaking of Lindsay and Blaine, listen, let me tell you, I'm not going to go too deep into them this season, but if they bring back Dante, oh no, if they bring back Dante, he is TV gold, honey. I love when Dante is on there. We just get to see the synapses just like attempting to fire and the neurons. Like, it is just him just trying to even like complete a sentence sometimes. It's like, oh, poor thing. Oh, poor thing. His own mother, did I drop you on your head when you were a child? But yeah, if Dante's back on there, then I'm watching, okay? Or reviewing anyway. So so then she sits down or Justine sits down and she tells Michael about her fears. And about having to fully put her trust in him and stuff like that. And I'm like, girl, you having this conversation, you married him. He's your husband. And remember what the sister said on the last season when Justine was saying like how he bought her this car and stuff like that. And the sister was like, well, yeah, he's done that for women before. So Michael is a giver. Michael is generous. And is that generosity going to remain within the household? Has he decided to settle down and stuff like that? He is a convincing person. Now, in that sense, but I have not heard anything sensical out of his mouth like, well, and just in case the sneaker business, and just in case I don't make it as a famous rapper, let me go on down to the post office. Let me go on down to the, to the sanitation department and see if they're hiring good jobs, good civil city jobs, offer pensions and stuff like that. But then again, he does have a record, so maybe that wouldn't work. I don't know. I guess it's hard when you have a record. I don't know what else kind of, what other kind of work he could find. Maybe that's why he's trying to focus on that hustle so much. But I don't know. I mean, he's got to be trying to do something. Food delivery, right? Well, listen. Okay, so did you guys see last season when she was quitting her job on the phone with her boss? There was somebody took a picture of it. They took a screenshot of it, and the back seat of her car was it was like a DoorDash or one of those bags. So I think maybe she has been doing food delivery, or maybe he's been doing it too, and we don't know. So some kind of income, something. But I'm thinking with the food delivery, maybe they don't. I don't know. Maybe that's a job that a felon could get. I don't know. You guys got me thinking now. My wheels are spinning. So anyway, yeah, she's talking about her abusive past and stuff like that. And I just, she's made a lot of poor decisions, and she, I'm not gonna lie. I felt bad for her in that situation when she said she was, deprived of food and she was abused and stuff like that, physically abused. I could see that because she becomes so devoted to her partners, like she gives so much of herself, like that critical thinking part of the brain kind of shuts down. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate. I mean, I don't know, but I did feel bad in that situation. But listen, they knew that they were actually going to actively try to have a child with him straight out of prison and with no solid income in yet. So I mean, Michael better step up like he said he's going to. I don't know how he's going to do it, but he's going to have to step up because it's not fair that her mom should have to take care of her if she is a married woman. That's what your husband is supposed to do. He's supposed to provide for you, if you believe in that. And I actually do believe in that. And you all know I'm not religious, but I still do believe that, they're the providing part is, I mean, come on, that's why you, hello. I mean, that's why you combine your lives together. So now we get to Monique and her sisters. So, she's in her finest, right, to see Derek. And did you guys notice, like in the confessional, she was wearing like some kind of printed number, this little, and I thought, okay, Monique, there we go. Now that's the look we need to stick with. And she had a little cleavage, you know what I mean? This is my fashion police segment because, whatever the hell her sister was wearing was absolutely hideous in that earlier scene. But, she looked decent. I was like, okay, all right, let's do a little bit more of that. But honey, when she came out with that outfit on for the date, and her sister's like, yeah, girl, you look good. I was like, oh my God, Jesus Christ. What is going on? The fashion gods are cringing. I mean, a bodycon dress, like, I mean, to me, bodycon dresses, like, they can be, they have their time and they have their place, but they have to be able to, and this has nothing to do with size, okay? This really has nothing to do with size or shape or height or anything. You just have to, for something to be flattering on you, you need to kind of like, there's girdles, there's all kinds of things that can kind of, keep things in, and then you can wear something that's form-fitting, but not tight like a latex medical surgical glove, right? Because that just shows a little bit too much. And then the materials, like if it's really that really thin, that cheapo throwaway little, rainbow sheen, whatever, that thin kind of material, then it looks even more horrendous. And even on a skinny person, those don't look very flattering. But, when you have a little bit more, little extra things going on, then you need to have those things smoothed down, right? Because listen, some of my friends are big girls, and honey, they look good when they are dressed because they know how to work in the waist. They know how they work with, you work your assets. Like if you have nice boobs or whatever, you have a small waist, you work that, but you don't wear that. It looks like that dress she was wearing looked like she had on pantyhose. I mean, I listen, and I got on Justine too last year with that cat suit. I was like, oh my God. Just like, I'm just not understanding these fashion trends. Maybe I'm just too old. I don't know. It just is very, very, very unflattering. So, she's got on the dress with the boots and, she goes to meet him. She's like at a pier or something like that, a park. And, he's got flowers and candles and it's all great. And they're talking about their reconciliation and stuff like that. And, he wants to be forgiven and then she goes, okay, well, and then we got to, and definitely we got to, get a little boot knocking going on later. She's like, oh yeah, definitely, for sure, of course, right? And then she's like, but I got to talk to you. I'm late. And I was like, okay. So the reason I'm not believing this is for many reasons. And one of those reasons being, okay, there's a few reasons, but I'm not going to state all of the reasons. Let's just say the main reason that I believe that she's not pregnant is because I think her and Derek found a new fame, a new success. They're the breakout couple of this former season, and they have to capitalize on this. I mean, why would you stay with a guy that is cheating on you, right? And she's like, I'm just going to give him another chance and stuff like that. And you're literally like this all day, trying to find where he's at. Why would you stay with somebody like that? So I think, and they're doing club appearances, and they're monetizing, they're capitalizing on their fame. And you know what? If you're gonna go on TV and make a goddamn fool of yourself, you may as well bring in all the coin that you can. So I think this is storyline. That's why I doubt that she's pregnant. I believe that this is, just something to kind of keep them going. Now, I still definitely think that she still wants to be with him and all that good stuff, but I do not believe she's pregnant. I don't even think there's a possibility of her being pregnant. For her to even announce it and to say that I didn't even take a test yet, but I'm late, that's storyline, right? But that's okay, whatever. We're here for the train wreck, right? So, then his reaction when she tells him I'm late is like, what? Oh man, not really. Oh, like, oh my God, this woman, what is she trying to do to me? And then he says in the confessional, he's like, man, I feel like she just, is she trying to trap me? Like, what's going on? Listen, I don't want to hear shit about trapping because you are the one with the phallus, okay? We're trying to be YouTube friendly here. You are the one with a member, okay? I'm gonna use my makeup brush and you know what I mean by member. So if you do not have your member covered and protected, you are the one poking and sticking, okay? That's it. So birth control is not only on her end, it's on your end too. So what did you think that, what did he think? Did he think she's too big to get pregnant? Is that what it was? I mean, because listen, she was pregnant before, and yeah, she said she lost her, the loss of her child, which is very, listen, my heart goes out to her about that. All right, the loss of her baby. I think she had a stillborn, which was very, very sad. And she was depressed and she gained weight after that. But you are not going to convince me that she gained 300 something pounds over that 1 year. She was a big girl to begin with. You can't tell me that she wasn't. So she got pregnant the first time, so she could get pregnant again. So don't try that. She's too big to get pregnant stuff. I mean, there's definitely can be some challenges. I understand with that, but that does not mean that she cannot get pregnant. So, him feeling like she's trying to trap him. I mean, of course, he's going to feel like that because he's cheating. He doesn't like to be constantly monitored. He's not into her like that. I mean, I think he probably tries to close his eyes and think of England and find some things about her that he's attracted to. Think of the money. Think of the money. Focus on the money. Okay. But we know, oh, right, it's official. I literally must have the worst internet connection in America. Thank you for hanging in there with me. But anyway, that was my the last thing that I wanted to talk about was his reaction to her and, her trapping him. It takes two, boo-boo. It takes two. So that's it. That's my review. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to be coming up with some other stuff. On Monday, we'll be doing 90 Day Fiance the other way. On Thursday, we'll be back with Married at First Sight. I have some crafting, some sweater stuff too. Oh, it's okay. You buffer. Oh, okay. All right. Good. I hope it's, yeah, because the reason I even do these lives is because it has been such an absolute feat of engineering to record a show like I used to do in the beginning and then upload. The upload can take up to 6 hours for a 30-minute video. I'm sitting here on pins and needles. I want to have a video out by a certain time so you guys can see it. I don't want it to upload at 3 o'clock in the morning. Who the hell's up at that time, right? So anyway, that's why I do these lives, and it's the magic of technology. What the hell can I say? But I miss you guys. I'm so glad you were here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care of yourselves. Check out some of the other videos that I have going on. Sweaters, crafting, Native American chatting, blah, 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 whatever. And I'll see you hopefully on Monday. Take care. See ya. Chipi Salacho.